recently learned that the Department of Education this year alone is expected to make $51 billion in profit off of students financing their education. Now, some of you may ask, how is it that the Department of Education is making a $51 billion profit when American families and students are struggling to even pay the tuition costs that they have? You know, we teach our children that it's important to save, to be responsible with their money, and to get a good education. But with the system set up the way it is right now, those goals are mutually exclusive. How are students supposed to save? When will they be able to pay off a record $1.1 trillion in debt that they are saddled with now? It was just reported that there is more debt on student loans than there are in credit card payments in America. How do we begin to consider, to plan their lives, to prepare to buy a home when they're trapped under a mountain of debt? You know, I have students that come to me when we have Congress on our college campuses, and they express great fear and trepidation about their future. They're working so hard. I have single parents who are literally taking every dollar from the 2 jobs that they work to be able to afford their college tuition. And I cannot go back to them and tell them that my colleagues on the other side proposed a bill that makes the college cost for their loans to double. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable when companies like J.P. Morgan Chase, Bank of America, Citigroup, and Wells Fargo reported a combined profit of $51.9 billion, and the Department of Education has the same amount of profit as those 4 companies combined. And so, Mr. Speaker, my colleagues in the Congressional Black Caucus, I got to say that we've got to tackle H.R. 1911. We have to figure out a way to come up with amendments to keep the interest rates on college loans at 3.4% as they are now, or to ensure that they're capped at a level that is predictable, students. But we also have to address this other underlying issue. It is not fair to American students that they are working harder and harder, that their families are struggling, and yet there's a $1 billion profit that's going to the Department of Education, a $51 billion profit that comes back and goes to the Treasury to pay down the debt, and yet corporations continue to get tax incentives and corporate subsidies. Enough is enough, Mr. Speaker. Enough is enough. When are we going to require major corporations to do their part? Enough is enough.